Hello, everybody, and welcome to the False Prophets Podcast, episode number 52. I know we've been gone for a little while. I know Manny's not here. We're dealing with a lot of different things. We're both two dudes, very busy. We're traveling all over the place, doing different shit. So I actually had somebody come in, fill in. This is a good friend of mine, a great
Mm.
comedian, somebody I know you're going to love. Give it up for Mahdiy Drummond, everybody. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, false prophets community. How are you? I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, we're
The
doing all right,
fan
man.
base.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. It's been a while. I mean, I think we had you on one time when the show like first started, but something happened.
hmm
It was a lost episode. It
hmm
was one of those episodes. We call it a lost episode, but
Yeah.
really I just fucked
Wow.
up.
Yeah. I remember that.
That was
Yep.
a great
Yep.
episode
hmm
too. That was a
Yeah, it was a
really,
good episode.
really good episode. But I just
Yeah.
something happened. That was back in my younger days of producing, so I fucked up a lot. I'd
Yeah.
record for like 2 hours and then not press the record button. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just
Yeah.
lose the whole
Yeah.
entire thing,
I
man.
remember. I remember. I had forgotten it, but I remember. Yeah.
But how you doing? How's life?
Everything's good, man. Yesterday was like the last warm day. It's like
Yeah,
it was warm all weekend and shit. And today we got hit with the back to winter. So
I know, but it's kind of it's still kind of shitty though, because it's like it's not even just cold; it's like
it's,
raining.
yeah, it's rainy, it's
Like I
dreary.
got caught, like I had to go to the bank and shit, and like literally, it was one of those moments where I'm like, all right, I can sneak out, whatever. It's not raining, it's good. As soon as I stepped out of the house, it just started pouring, just
Yeah, it was it
pouring. I'm like
was
fucking
it was
freezing.
it's ugly out there. It's definitely soup weather.
Yeah.
It's definitely soup weather.
But what's good though, man? I see you got the grays and the beard going. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You look like Diddy
Mm-hmm.
during
hmm
COVID. You know?
Yeah. Yo, you see, I was thinking about that shit the other day. Like, he was letting this shit gray out during pandemic, and now it's like back to all black. Like, we already know you dye your shit, dog.
Yeah,
Like, why
yeah, I
you
know,
even
I know.
fucking
Hey, I mean, it's
like,
what you are who you think you are. You know what I mean? It's all
right,
about
right.
perception. So I don't really care. Gray beard, black beard, he's still the same Diddy to me, who's
You
probably
you
gonna go to
you know
jail for
my you know
murder.
my thing about dyeing the grays in my beard is this. It's like if you dye your hair black, your beard hairs, you look creepy because it looks like you're trying to creep on young chicks. You know what I'm saying? It looks like you lying about your age.
Yeah,
Whereas if you just let the grays flow, you're gonna attract the young bitches with daddy issues. You know what I'm
that's facts.
saying?
That's
So it's
facts.
like you
Yeah,
know what I'm
and it's
saying?
cheaper.
So you can either look like a creep or you can just look like the old dude you are and attract the young bitches who are missing a father figure. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts. See, that's why I fuck with you. You always know how to save some
Right.
money, bro. You know,
Right.
save that $20 and just
Yeah, say the twenty
let the
dollars.
gray hairs grow. You know what I
Spend
mean?
it on a young bitch. Yeah, no
Hell
doubt.
yeah.
Nah, but like it's yeah, I don't want to my the funny thing is my barber sometimes, well, not no more because we got a relationship now, but
Mhm.
when I first started going to my barber, I would kind of fall asleep in the chair and I would wake up and my whole shit be black. You know what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, yo, what the fuck did you do? I don't know why they assume that you just want that shit in your grades. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I think black people already just look young. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So they're just
yeah,
like, all right, I might as well dye it so he look extra, extra
right,
young and shit. Like you ever see
right.
that
But it's
shit,
like,
that TikTok thing where that dude was like 60 years old and then he got like a fresh cut and got his shit dyed. He looked like he was 20 or some shit.
yeah, I haven't seen that, but it's not hard to imagine at
Yeah,
all.
that's not,
Yeah,
so hey, there's a lot of
yeah,
dudes who want to
but
creep on young chicks, so it makes sense.
yeah, but nah, I don't mind having my grades and shit like that. And I'm just growing it out. My girl's been beating me up about it. She was like, "Yo, shave it down," but like, I guess girls don't know unless it's a hairy bitch that sometimes it just feels good to like let your hair grow out on your
Yeah.
face and like leave it the fuck alone. You know what
I
I'm
know what you
saying?
mean. I know what you mean. And bro, you're on your DJ Khaled type shit right now. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right, right, right.
You on
Yeah,
your
so
free
it's like
Palestine shit right now.
and the ultimate ironic shit is I'm probably gonna shave it within the next couple of days, and when it's no shave November, I'm gonna fuck
Yeah.
around and shave my shit.
Well, because
You know what I'm saying?
it feels good to grow it out, and then after a while, it feels good to shave it all off too.
Absolutely,
You
absolutely,
know,
yeah,
it's a cycle.
absolutely.
There's
Yep,
something about it.
absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. It feels good to just like let your hair grow out and your skin, your follicles and shit, and then
Yeah.
cut that shit off, and it just feels like ah
You feel new.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. You feel like I don't know, it's some fucking amazing shit. But yeah, man, it's like I'm just so happy to see you. This kind of why I reached out. I remember you brought this up before we started the podcast, but you thought that for some reason I was upset at you or some shit like that. So
Yeah.
I had to give you a call because comedians, man, like I feel like we spend so much time being in our own heads, you
hmm
know, and over analyzing different shit about each other and like how we feel about each other. Like
hmm
you're not the only one who thought that actually. I was at the stand the other day
hmm
and I bumped into a comic. I won't say his name or nothing, but I bumped into him.
hmm
Good dude,
hmm
and he pulled me to the side and he was like, "Bro, like I just want to ask you something. Like, are we okay?" And I was
Right.
like, yeah, like why? And he was like, oh, like I don't know. I just feel like maybe you never like fucked with me or something. I was like, nah, you're fine, whatever. I was like, why do you? Because I was
Right.
like, now it's bothering me. I'm like, why do you think that? And especially because you told me your shit like, a
Yeah.
couple weeks before that. So I was like, wait, am I just giving off a fucking vibe with people?
Uh,
And then
well,
he
well,
brought
nah.
up,
The funny
yeah,
shit was like you're one of the few people, as far as comics go. You're one of the few people. Like my girl will occasionally like ask, like, "How's Phil doing?" Because she's, of course, y'all have talked and shit,
yeah,
and
she
like,
comes to the shows.
yeah, and she there's certain comics who just like she gets along with better. And I guess she was just one of those people she always found pleasant. So every now and then
Okay.
she'd be like, where's Phil Risden been? She always says your full name and shit. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
And then one day,
That's good marketing,
then
though.
one day I was just like, kind of like, yeah, where the fuck has Phil been? And then it kind of like I fell down a wormhole of like, because sometimes when we're all drinking and
Yeah,
start to
yeah, yeah.
talk aggressively to each other and shit like that, and you'd be like, did I say something that maybe crossed the line?
No,
So,
no.
so I remember making that call and shit. You know what I mean?
All right, so it's not so it was just her asking. It's not me because I do start to think sometimes. I'm like, am I just doing something wrong? Am I just mean mugging people from across the room? Like, why do they think
Nah,
I
I don't
fucking
think
hate
that.
them?
But I mean, like, so I think some comics more like need their alone time more than others type shit. I think you're like, what I'm saying? Some
Yeah,
guys are like just appear moody, even if we're not moody. You know what I'm saying? Some
yeah,
comics
yeah,
just
yeah,
seem like
yeah.
they're moody. You know what I'm saying?
And I
So
don't,
you might,
I think I'm just self conscious of it because like I don't really have a crew. Like I've never really had like
mm,
a solid. Like I
you're a
bounce
loner.
around from different things,
Right.
but it's kind of always just me.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like I always wonder like, am I off putting to people or some shit? Do they
yeah,
think
yeah,
and all that shit? But
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, nah, I know exactly how that is. But nah, yeah, that was definitely something I was just like, yeah, because yeah, we used to see, you know,
but we had the
even
show together.
well, we had the show, and you remember, like when I was still living in Philly and I was coming to New York, I would
Yeah,
stay in your basement.
I remember that shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Those are
So
good
we had
times, like,
yeah
bro.
we had like a little
What happened to
symbiotic
like
relationship and shit.
what happened to like relying on other comics like that? You know what I mean? Like I feel like that energy is so gone from like the
Mm-hmm.
scene and just in
Mm-hmm.
general. Like maybe we're just all getting older, so people just
Mm-hmm.
are like, I don't want to have some nigga sleeping on my couch or something. But I think it's
Mm-hmm.
something deeper than that. It's like after COVID, I feel like so much of the unity in comedy, not just in New York, but like all the places, totally like shifted. You know?
Yeah, I think some of it has to do with people. Well, it's two things. I think some of it has to do with people being real, like overly focused on like thinking they're gonna have a career in it and like being like real business minded and real strict with who they associate with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like, and then some of it I think is just society. Because we was talking the other day, like you don't really get hooked. Like remember back in the day, you would know somebody that worked at a fast food restaurant, and you could go there
Yeah.
and get hooked up,
Yeah.
or
You
you
don't
could
get
be,
hooked up anymore. Huh?
yeah, you could be in the line at Wendy's and be like, hey, yo, slide some extra fries in there. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. Yeah.
People don't do shit like that no more. You know what I'm
Hookups
saying?
don't exist anymore, bro. And it's
Yeah,
like it's a different era.
yeah. So it's like, yeah, so it's like more of a self-centered society and shit like that now. You know?
I don't know. I feel like I feel like there's this energy of like people being very like overprotective of like
Mm-hmm.
everything that's like theirs. You know what I mean? And they're like, well,
Mm-hmm.
if I give this nigga something, he's probably never gonna give me anything. So fuck him and all that shit. And
Yeah.
like, I've just had like issues where I went to like other other cities to perform and everything. Just do a couple
Mm-hmm.
shows, nothing special,
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, it's like if you were going to Philly, you were going to DC, you were going to Atlanta, literally
Mm-hmm.
there was just a network of comics,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
you knew, and you didn't even have to know them,
And
you
they
know,
let you sleep over or whatever type shit like that.
completely let you
Yeah.
sleep over. Like you just a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. He's sleeping on the couch, whatever. That nigga's there, And I
Yeah.
feel like now, it's like, yeah, nigga, hit up Airbnb.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Like,
shit is weird now. Like, take for instance, a couple days ago, I had this. I was booking a show or whatever.
yeah,
So I had to line up, and I had my little circle of people I talked to about shit, and person was like, "Yo, why are you booking these comics? They like, either they new or like they're not funny or whatever the person was saying.
yeah,
You
yeah.
should have booked this person. You should have booked this person." I'm like, why am I gonna book these motherfuckers, the same motherfuckers?
Everybody
And it wasn't
books.
even, yeah, it wasn't necessarily people in my circle the person was telling me to book, but it was just these comics that already get all these opportunities. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And I'm a big believer in like giving new comics opportunities, man. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah.
even if a certain comic is getting booked all through New York City and shit like that, like their name isn't really selling tickets.
Oh,
You
that's
know
the
what I'm
thing
saying?
too. That's once you take yourself out of the matrix, bro, and start
Yeah.
realizing like, bro, these niggas like they could be the most famous person in like the New York comedy scene,
They're not selling
and they're
tickets.
not selling any tickets, bro. Like no
Yeah,
one's
it's
heard
not like
about them.
it's not like the average civilian couple in Long Island sees Joe Joe McDougal Street on a flyer and
Yes,
says,
yeah.
"Honey, we got to get a babysitter."
Exactly. Like no, it doesn't.
you
And
know,
I think is the weird part about all that shit too is that like I feel like maybe we were talking about no one gets hooked up anymore. And I think it might
hmm
also be because like especially in comedy, um, because of the internet now, and especially
yeah,
with COVID, how it divided everything and broke everything down, like you don't know who's gonna blow up.
yeah,
You know? Like you were saying, like taking chances on like younger comics and all that type of stuff. People were a
mm,
bit more open to that type of stuff before because they were
hmm
like, you never know, or this person's doing this thing, whatever. But now because of the
hmm
internet, it could be the most unfunny nigga in the world, bro. And he
yeah,
just hit something. He does an impression of this one person, and now he
yeah,
has like 200,000 followers, and he gets to tour the entire country. So now you're like, well, if I don't know who's gonna blow up, if I don't know who's really gonna be here and be
uh
someone who
huh,
can help me later, why help
uh
them?
huh.
You know?
Yeah,
Why
and I
help
think that's why.
anybody?
I mean, like, even if a person isn't the funniest person in the world, they deserve an opportunity to, what I'm saying, to get better. I mean, it's like you make a diverse show. Like this person is new. This person might be great. This person
This
might be
person's this
intermediate. You
person's
know what I'm
black, this
saying?
person's Asian, this
Yeah,
person's terrible
yeah,
at
yeah.
comedy.
Yeah, instead of like keep booking these same people over and over again, it's like,
It's lame.
what I mean, it's lame. It's like, and like, but it goes back to what you were saying about just hooking people up and just like trying to grow something instead of like just trying to keep getting the same harvest over and over again type shit.
No, I know exactly what you mean, and that's why I don't know, I'm just so happy that I got to travel for so long, because like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and even so, like I went to LA like a couple months ago and stuff, and I just been traveling, kind of doing the road more, and that's really
Mm-hmm.
like opened my eyes so much about just like what you're saying. It's like all these people you think like rule comedy don't,
Yo,
bro. They're just
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When
yeah,
I was in Atlanta, right, and I was contemplating leaving Atlanta for a bunch of reasons, right,
yeah,
but and going back to Philly and shit. And there was this one club in Atlanta that I hadn't done yet,
yeah,
and like I was like talking to a friend of mine, and I was telling her like she's a comic as well, and
yeah, yeah,
I was telling her like, yo, I'm kind of want to move back home and shit, but like I haven't done this club yet, and I just feel like I got to do this club before I
yeah.
leave. And she told me, she was like, yo, Mahdiy, and she was originally from Chicago, you know what I'm saying?
I think I
And
know who
so
you're talking about actually.
and Atlanta
Yeah,
was her second comedy scene,
yeah,
and she told me, she was like, yo, Mahdiy, um, whenever you in a comedy scene, right? She was like, there's always that one club where everybody in that scene feels like they have to do that club to be
to be a real
validated.
comedian. Yep, yep.
To be validated. She's like, they feel like that's the most important thing. And if they do that club, everything is gonna go great from there. And she
Mm.
was like, then you go to another scene in Minnesota or Texas, she's like, they
Yeah.
ain't never even heard of that club. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
That
Yep.
like that club means nothing to them there.
Hmm.
And they could and the scene the other scene could be just as vibrant or more vibrant. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And
Yeah.
she was like, that scene means that club means nothing to them there. You can say, yo, I headlined this club, and they're gonna look at you like, okay, you know what I'm
Whatever.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like you said, take yourself out the matrix. So she was like, yo, don't let like one club, like not one club isn't gonna make or break you, basically. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, do whatever you feel you gotta do, but don't base your decision on not having performed at that club. And
I think so, man. You can't link your self esteem to like
yeah,
these like simplistic, like subjective things that other
yeah,
people put in front of you. Because like a lot of times, these people know you're funny,
yeah.
and they won't give you shit just because they know you're funny and they don't like
Yeah,
you that much, or
yeah,
you
there's
make
other
that you
factors at
intimidate
play.
them.
There's other
Yeah,
factors at
there's
play.
plenty of other shit, bro. Like, listen, bro. Like, I just came back from I traveled all over Europe, but like
Mm-hmm.
I did comedy in Prague and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and I had no shit booked in Prague whatsoever. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know anybody there. I literally was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to an open mic and just try to have some fun, see what
Mm-hmm.
happens. And like, I did really well
Mm-hmm.
on the open mic. They started booking me on like every single show that
Mm-hmm.
entire week. I got paid.
Wow.
I'm actually gonna go
Wow.
over there in like probably the next like 5 or 6 months again to like headline
Right.
and
Oh
shit.
wow, that's dope.
Yeah, shit is crazy, but like, but that just goes to show it's like all I can like I didn't come up there and be like, yeah, like I'm from New York and blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. You know, it's like
Mm-hmm.
just going to have fun, and if you're
Mm-hmm.
good, you're good. If you're not, you're not, and that's the thing to
Yeah.
just have in your mind, also too, because I feel like we put so much stock into like who matters here and what is this thing. It's like, bro, now that the internet exists, bro, all that shit is gone. All
Yeah.
that
And
shit is gone.
I always tell people, like, I think the most important thing, like doing road gigs also, and also like you can't stay in the scene where you started in,
Yeah,
because it's just like never leaving your hometown. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you don't realize how big the world is. Like, I started comedy in Atlanta, and I kind of have this, my worldview of comedy was based on what was going on in Atlanta.
yeah.
And then I moved back to Philly and shit. I had never done comedy in Philly. I moved to Philly and shit. Started doing comedy there. My mother lives in Virginia, so I started doing comedy in Virginia. Then of course I started coming to New York and shit.
Mm.
And so it was like you kind of learn, like you say, like all comedy scenes are the same and different at the same
Oh
time.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah. It
saying?
is.
Like the girl told me, everywhere has that club. Every scene has, there's certain levels of like favoritism and
Yeah,
nepotism.
and every scene has like the one producer that stunts on people and all that
Yeah,
type of shit.
it's
Every
all the same. And
all the same shit.
if you never leave, you never realize how kind of like frivolous it is to get upset over shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And doing road gigs is important too, because I think like when you go on the road, you realize how funny you are and how much people appreciate you. Whereas when you at your
Yes.
home scene, you're not really probably getting the appreciation you feel you deserve. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
and especially when your home scene is a place like New York, which is like
Yeah.
the biggest, or the most famous like scene. You
You
know what
got
I
a lot of
mean?
politics and shit
In the
going on.
world is it's like New
Yeah.
York. Like there's people. You'll see somebody who was just on TV yesterday performing at a bar
Hmm.
show in New York City.
Absolutely.
You won't see
Absolutely.
that in
Absolutely.
any other city except for like LA. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
that type of stuff like messes with your head a lot, I think. And you don't realize how good you actually are until you leave and you step out and also
Hmm.
you just have fun. It's like not everything's so fucking serious. Like remember why you
Yeah.
started this shit, you know?
Yeah, and that goes and having fun, like that goes into me saying like, yo, give these comics that just started a chance, or somebody that you think isn't, just because somebody isn't my cup of tea with their humor doesn't mean that like they're not funny. And too many people look at the shit through that lens of saying, oh well, I don't think this motherfucker is funny. It's like, well, first
Yeah.
of all, you got kind of a whack sense of humor, number one. And number two, like, just because you don't think they're funny, you still got to be able to be unbiased and say, yeah, but this person has talent and they got
Yeah.
potential. You know what I'm
And
saying?
it's like, are they working hard? Like, cause that's a big thing
Yeah,
too. It's like if you're working hard but you're not that funny, I'd kind
yeah,
of rather have you than somebody who is funny, but I know isn't going anywhere because they don't give a fuck about anything.
right.
You
Well,
know?
they say hard work beats talent. So
No, it's a fucking fact. I see it all the time. Like I feel like now, like now that I'm just getting older, I see it so fucking much, and you just get so used to. I don't know. You get used to how fucked up things can be, and how there's so
Hmm.
many people with potential who just don't become anything. You know,
Yeah.
and I've learned that
Yeah.
in my life in general, even outside of comedy. Like all my parallels
Absolutely.
I've had with comedy, I think come into real life play too, that regular people can relate to. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
if you're driven, you know what I mean. Like you're just that type of person, and that's just what it is. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. Work ethic.
yeah, man. Yeah. But yo, when's the next time you going to Philly and shit? Because I didn't tell you I might move down there.
Yeah, Philly's the shit. I actually got a sh- I actually I got a I'm doing a once a month show in Philly now with my man Shea Guerrero.
Oh
Um
shit. Okay.
yeah, so we got another show. I think it's November 11th. But I'll
Okay.
actually be in Philly on Wednesday doing a show for my man Charles Still. He's a young producer out there. He's real creative with his show ideas. So the show I'm doing on Wednesday is actually jokes told from the perspective of the Joker. You know what I mean? From Batman. So it's like, yeah. So it's like me and my girl have actually been sitting around all morning watching Joker movies. I watched the Harley
Yeah.
Quinn movie this morning, and I just watched the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
That's a good one. And I don't know if I'm gonna squeeze another one in today, but I think before I go out there on Wednesday, I might try and watch. I might try and watch the Heath Ledger one, or I might try to actually watch the one with Jack Nicholson. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I said go Jack
Yeah,
Nicholson. We all seen
yeah,
Dark
yeah.
Knight a
Heath Ledger.
billion
Yeah, yeah,
times. We know
yeah.
Heath Ledger fucking Joker. I say go to Jack Nicholson. You know.
Jack Nicholson. Yeah. So I'll be in Philly on Wednesday, and I'm out there once a month now doing a show. And I'll send all that information to you for you
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like put in the script or whatever. But yeah, definitely.
And what's up?
Phil-
Like, I noticed you starting to do more like sketches and shit now. I mean, Miles seems to be hitting it pretty well with
Yeah,
his shit. You know,
yeah.
I seen you putting out a lot of more stuff. I mean, what's happening in the future? You guys coming out with like a YouTube channel or something with all this shit?
Yeah, yeah, we always. First of all, Miles is doing real good with his shit. He's got
Yeah.
he's a young man. He got his finger on the pulse. He knows how to go viral.
Mhm.
And we're always talking amongst this little circle we have about doing this and doing that. Don't of course, like you said with you and your man, everybody has schedules and shit
Yeah.
like that. And it's kind of hard to get everybody in one room. And then when you get everybody in one room, you got to convince that there's only one chief and the rest of the people are Indians, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Okay. Yeah. Get
so
everybody
that's
on the
a
same page. You
yeah.
know.
There's only one RZA. You might have to be you God for this one. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? and no, and
Just for
nobody
today.
want to be just for today. Nobody want to be you God though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a fact,
But
bro.
yeah, but nah, we're always talking about doing something and you know, we got all types of shit unfinished and unedited. But like, yeah, definitely gonna do something, talking YouTube channels, talking Patreon, kind of figuring out the
Yeah.
best way to move about it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
honestly think, bro, if I'm being real with you, you guys need to start a podcast. I think
Yeah,
if you guys had a pod, number one, that'd be great. And
yeah,
then like just a YouTube channel like collectively that you guys have, I think
hmm,
would be really good.
yeah,
Like you would
yeah.
definitely do really well.
With the sketches, I started like doing that shit during pandemic. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
as far as like just like you had all that time on your hands, so I started just trying to do shit with my phone instead of make calls and send dick pics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Hey, that's a good way to pass time too. You know, let's not put that aside, you know?
yeah.
That's a very
Nah,
good
so
way to pass time.
I just started like doing shit like I would film myself like drinking a glass of water and try to edit it, put it together. And
Hmm.
it's something you just kind of like it became a hobby. So it's something I really enjoy doing, man. So it's something we definitely want to do more of and on a larger scale type shit.
Nice. That's what's up,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just like, people say it all the time, but consistency, you know,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
always putting shit out. Like, it really doesn't have to be good. Like,
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of my YouTube stuff and everything. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, shit, that's why I gave you a call. Like, because I was waiting
Mm-hmm.
on, my co-producer. He was too busy. And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
you saw all the like stories I was putting out and the reels and everything. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to keep it rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't want to
Mm-hmm.
stop and then, wait 2 weeks and then have to get back to shit. So it's just like as long as you keep it rolling, bro, it'll slowly build. And all you need is one
Yeah.
time for
Yeah.
that
And
shit to
and
really hit.
and and, and the shit is like no matter how much you think it's not great, there's somebody out there that appreciates it and shit like
Yeah,
that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like there are people out there enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if it's something you like to do and there's people appreciating it, then I think you should do it. You know what I'm saying? Even if everything doesn't go viral and shit like that, but
No,
sometimes,
most of it won't. That's the thing.
yeah,
But it
yeah,
stops
exactly,
everybody. Most
exactly.
of it
But
won't.
people will still hit you up and be like, "Yo, I thought that was cool. I thought that was great and shit
Yeah.
like that." And you'd be like, "Okay, that's awesome." You know what I'm saying?
Because I think a lot of people need to realize it's like, yeah, you just gotta like doing it and just realize that like
Exactly.
most of it isn't gonna actually go well. Like, there's been times where I put mad effort into a video
Yeah,
and it's gotten
yeah,
like 10 views. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Or I
yeah,
put it on Instagram and it got like 15 likes and like that was it.
yeah,
That was that.
yeah,
And I was like,
yeah.
what else you got, nigga? Like,
We've all been there.
yeah, it's cold out here, bro.
It's
It can get
cold
real
outside.
cold outside, bro. But that's the thing. It's like as long as you like doing it and you're
Mm-hmm.
like doing your, it's always gonna be something that you didn't even think was gonna be big that turns out big as fuck, and then that's the thing that kind of gets you going, you know. So it's just
Absolutely,
like you just gotta love this shit. That's it, man. And you learn
absolutely.
more as you go. The more shit you put out, it's like it's weird. Like
Yeah.
in your head, you start being able to like solve the
Mm-hmm.
formula of the shit.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I actually just enjoy the mechanics of putting the little videos together and the editing. And then it's just like I just want to share it and be like, yo, just check out what I made. Almost like a kid putting a picture on a refrigerator. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You're
yeah.
just
I
like,
feel you.
yo, look at what I made. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like look at yeah,
And
and
it
that's the fun part about it.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Mm. So what's your next big idea? What are you guys doing? I feel like you guys should be doing like man on the street type shit. You know, because
Yeah,
you guys got a little like comedy odd future thing going.
yeah.
You know.
Lawrence loves doing that shit like that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he's that
Like,
type. He's definitely that
yeah,
type.
yeah. He
You know,
likes
he
doing
was
shit like that.
he
Um,
was the bad kid in class. You know what I mean? He got
Absolutely. See,
he got
I
in
think
school
like
suspension.
the way it usually sets up is like Larry likes doing shit like that where he's real dealing with people and outside with people.
Hmm.
Miles kind of is real good with like finger on the pulse, hot button issues. Like he'll do some shit dealing with trans issues or
Yeah,
Republican
yeah,
shit. He's real into that. I kind of enjoy doing like strange stuff that like is just like kind of like off putting. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Um, and like so like yeah, and we all like kind of focus on our own little circles and shit like that. And
yeah.
was trying to get this Halloween movie together, but I don't think we're gonna be able to get together. But we're gonna still do it and just like either maybe just put it out in the spring or just save it for next Halloween. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? But like yeah, we was
I can
working on
see
this
that. Like a
Halloween
little
thing.
Halloween thing. Like, yeah, like a little
Yeah,
10-minute, 15-minute fucking Halloween movie or some shit. That would be
absolutely,
lit.
absolutely.
I could fuck with
Absolutely.
that. I mean,
And
but
I
yeah.
last New Year's I started writing this thing about a New Year's Day resolution shit, and I just brought that to the table. I said I want to try and film that and have it ready for New Year's. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So definitely got some ideas, man. The thing is the most thing is finding people who aren't comics to be involved with it. Like maybe
yeah,
like you need a woman for dialogue because you can't have
yeah,
like a bunch of as far as like the more like sketchy type shit. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? You need like
Absolutely.
some regular people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
some regular people and people who aren't too self conscious. You
Exactly,
know,
exactly,
because it
exactly.
really is like, listen, like we're putting this out, but a lot of people are only fine with something coming out if it's gonna go viral, if it's gonna be the
Yeah,
hugest thing.
yeah.
It's like, no, we're
Or
gonna put this out and it's gonna get like 40 likes.
yeah. Or no. Or what happens is like, and I got a couple like homegirls where this has happened to, where I'm like, yo, will you run this dialogue with me? I want to do this scene, and it's never nothing that would disrespectful or nothing
Yeah, yeah,
sexual
yeah.
or no shit like that. But people will be like, "Yeah, I want to do something," and then it's like they never
Yeah,
want to
when it
do
comes to it.
it. They're shy. You know what I'm saying? They think they're a little
Yeah.
bit more extroverted than they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a big thing. You know, you have a lot of people like that. A lot of people that
Uh,
say they want to do shit, and then you hit them up like on the day that it's supposed to happen, and then they're just not answering, and
uh,
all sorts of
uh,
weird shit. That's the
uh,
problem. I think that's why stand up comedy is so attractive. It's because
mm-hmm.
it's just you. Like you don't
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
get
yeah.
anything else,
You
anything
don't got to
else.
depend on nobody. Yep, it's just you.
Nobody.
Yep,
It's
absolutely,
just
absolutely.
you. No equipment. No nothing. And it's like, but that's the one reason why you can feel like you're going farther, but you can stay
Mm-hmm.
stagnant as well too. Because
Yeah.
like you need at least equipment, you need to at least put shit out there, but you just
Mm-hmm.
feel like you're like I'm getting funnier. People are
Right.
laughing
Right.
at more of my jokes, so
Right.
obviously I'm doing better. And then you realize it's like, damn, it's been like 12 years. The fuck am I
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
doing?
Absolutely. So what's
Where am I
behind the
going?
move to Philly, man?
What happened?
What's behind you moving to Philly?
Honestly, it's just cheaper, bro. It's
Oh yeah, yeah.
cheaper. It's in
Oh
the
yeah,
area.
absolutely.
It's kind of an interim thing. Basically, like I'm planning on moving to LA.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and I've been planning on that for a very long time. But just
Mm-hmm.
different shit came into play, and then I decided to do the whole Europe thing. You know,
Mm.
um,
Mm.
and basically I've been staying with family for the last like 4 or 5 months or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just time for me to get out, you know what I mean? But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, I'm like, I don't necessarily have enough to go right back to New York, you know? So I'm like, Philly is a
Mm-hmm.
place where I can get a room for like, six to eight hundred
Reasonable.
dollars,
Yeah.
reasonable, and still save up money, and still do what I need to do. So
And
that's
still
basically
be
it.
in the mix. Yeah, still
And
be in
still
the
be in the
mix.
mix. Like I can go up to New York when I want to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Philly's
like,
a great scene. And Philly's a great scene, man.
yo,
Like to me.
that's another thing too. It's like, yo, I fuck with the people there. Like, that's a
Yeah.
bigger priority for me now. Is like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, it doesn't really matter what scene you're in. It's like, do you fuck with
Mm-hmm.
the people?
Yeah.
Because if you fuck with the people, it's gonna be a lot more pleasant. You're gonna get better performances out of yourself. You have better
Mm-hmm.
people to collaborate with, and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And like, for real, bro, like the Europe shit just like changed me. Where I'm like, yo, like
Yeah.
I was just out there, and I was like, oh, I'm as funny as I think I am.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I
Yeah.
could like literally do this shit and like, bro, out there. And I knew that before I even went there because
Mm-hmm.
I bumped into a couple different comics and shit,
Mm-hmm.
who have been living out there that I knew in New York. Like, one of them, Sid Singh, he's doing
Mm-hmm.
pretty well. He's doing
Mm-hmm.
like really well in Berlin. He lives in Berlin and
Oh
everything like
wow.
that. But I remember when he was in New York and then he moved back to the West Coast and all of a sudden I see he's in Europe and then about like 3 4 months ago, I was at Grizzly Pear and he walked
Mm-hmm.
in and this dude, really nice dude, really funny guy and stuff, and he was
Mm-hmm.
studying law and all that shit. But he was just like a bummy like open micer.
Right.
When
Right.
I
Right.
knew him, he was a good dude. Then I see him at Grizzly Pear. This nigga walks in wearing a suit and shit. I'm like, what
Three-piece
the
suit and
fuck?
shit.
The fuck
Right.
is this shit going on? Looking
Right.
fresh as fuck, like just dripping. And
Yeah.
so we just started talking, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, you got to go, blah blah blah." And that was like the third or fourth time I heard from people. They were like, "Yo, you have to go out to Europe because like if you go out to Europe, you can literally make it your career being a stand-up comedian. You'll make a living in it.
Wow.
You can completely make a living. Like they will pay you well enough, and like I'm not gonna lie, like I did, like I did those shows in Prague and shit, and I
Wow.
got paid like 50 euros or whatever for like an 8 minute set or something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like out
Mm-hmm.
here, what you get paid like 25 to 40 bucks, so
If you're lucky, I mean,
if
shit.
you're
Yeah.
lucky, if you're
Yeah.
lucky and you're at the clubs, I'm talking about like
Yeah.
club,
Yeah. Yeah. I got
club
you. I got you.
prices,
Uh-huh.
and you're
Yeah.
fully passed. So
Yeah.
that was my thought, and it was like you're also in these places where they've like just gotten like modern stand-up comedy like 15 20 years ago.
Mm.
So
So there's a frenzy over it.
yeah, there's a
Mm.
frenzy over it, and with the internet, like
Mm-hmm.
people are seeing stand-up comedy from other places. So
Mm-hmm.
like if you say you're an American, they're willing to have you because they want these people over here. And if you're
Yeah.
good,
Jeez.
then they're like, we don't want to lose this guy. So
Wow.
they're willing to like invest in you, like comedy in Europe right now
Mm-hmm.
is kind of what like stand-up comedy in like the 70s and 80s was
Right. It's an
here,
explosion. Yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
willing to build you
Wow.
like as a person. So like I'm
That's
telling
dope.
everybody like
Yeah.
you
That's dope.
know it's nice, bro. I'm telling like literally everybody to like
Mm-hmm.
go out there maybe like once every 2 years or something, even if it's just for like a week. Go to like one
Yeah.
city,
Yeah. Yeah.
pick one city, do it for like a week or something. Stay in a hostel. Hostels are $10 a night, bro. twenty
Wow.
dollars a night.
Wow.
You can do it. Like a lot of I used to think that going to Europe was like a crazy thing too, but once I
Mm-hmm.
was like there, I was like, oh, this is like like so easy, and it's like way
Yeah, I
more
just saw
possible.
I saw a homeboy. He was saying something interesting about like the food quality in Europe, and he was just talking about how like
Yeah, and it's cheaper. The food is
it's
cheaper,
cheaper and
and
it
it's
was like
better quality.
it's better for. He was like, you eat a piece of bread and like a small piece of chicken, and he's like, because of the quality of it so much good. He's like, I feel full for like a couple hours instead of
Yes,
like in
yes.
America where you eat like a cheeseburger and fries and you hungry again in you know what I'm saying 20 minutes and shit.
Bro, that's absolutely what it is. And then even when I was
Yeah.
in Prague, bro, like, I like to drink, I like to hang out in Prague. Beer is like, if you buy like a tall boy from a bodega in Prague, it's like 50 cents in our money.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, but the thing is, it's like you pay like 50 cents or whatever, but like we would be, we pay $2 for like a Coors, right? We're paying
Hmm.
50 cents and it's like an amazing craft beer.
Right, right.
So
That's
like,
crazy.
bro,
Wow.
it's crazy. And I'm not saying like, oh, everybody pack up and live there forever. It's not that, but nigga, stop by, do a couple
Yeah, he said pull up.
yeah, pull up. Like, bro,
uh,
they will pay you well. They will pay you
that's
well,
dope.
well enough. Like, you just have to go once to like
Hmm.
know certain
Hmm.
people, and they have
Hmm.
to know you're funny. Like, if they know you're funny,
Yeah,
then it's just
yeah, I
like
get
good.
it.
So, but once that, they'll start like giving you names, and they'll be like, "Yo, go to this place. They pay. Don't go to this city. It's a little bit more like New York. They don't really pay that much. You know
Right,
what I
right.
mean?" And they'll be like, "Yo," and like, so I'm already planning my shit like to just go out there, bro. You
That's
know,
dope.
fix it up. Fuck it, bro. And the
That's
girls is
dope.
bad, bro. The girls is
Yeah, I
so
can
bad.
imagine. I can imagine. I can imagine.
This shit is crazy, nigga. Oh man.
Wow.
But it's good to be back home though. It is good to be back home too.
Right. Yeah, yeah, of
Um,
course.
I love it back here, and just I don't know. It's one of those things where sometimes you ever like, been in a relationship where you just fight with a girl all the time, and then it's
Absolutely.
like you go away, you've been gone for like a month or something, you come back, and it's just nice to
Yeah, be
see her
back.
again. Yeah.
Yeah.
You back
It's
to the
it's,
honeymoon
it's
phase
it's
again.
still home, you know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get
so
it.
back to my baby moms.
This old bitch. This
Yeah,
whole
man.
bitch right here. Yeah, nah, I feel you
Hell
though.
yeah. But I feel like you would definitely like love it. Like I could see you out there in Paris or some shit,
Nah,
wearing
I
a
mean, yo,
beret off to the
yo,
side,
believe me,
bro.
yeah, I'm gonna get all into it, yo. If I go over there, nah, no doubt. Nah, I mean, you're not the. I mean, like I said, I see homeboy. He seems like he. I remember he had ran over there maybe last summer and shit. Then like maybe two,
Yeah,
like
nigga's
last
crazy.
summer, and then this summer he's like, yo, I'm moving to Berlin. I'm about to be a
Yeah,
Brooklyn
nigga.
dude. Like
Bro,
immediately, you could
bro,
tell
they
when he came
yeah,
back from over there, it was just like there was an emptiness in his eyes. Like I need to get
yeah,
back.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, bro, what the fuck is this shit, bro? Like,
Yeah,
you pay
yeah.
all
You could
this money
tell.
just to
You could
like
tell.
barely survive, and then you're funnier than like all these different people and still don't get shit and all this
Yeah.
shit. And it's like, even if I was to overcome all the things that are in my way here, I would
Hmm.
still be struggling. Like, what would I really win? What would be my prize? I would still be struggling
Yeah.
to like make
Yeah.
ends meet off of these like stand-up comedy sets where I could just go over there, do all that shit, make all that money, get in at comedy clubs there, come back
Yeah.
here. Now I'm this international person,
Right, right.
you
Absolutely.
know?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
comedy's all about fear of missing out and shit, bro. So, nigga, you start doing shows in Philly for a week, people start looking at you different.
Yeah. No, no, no.
So it's
Absolutely.
like,
No, but see, the funny thing is, okay, so you remember when I said that I was leaving Atlanta, I wanted to do that club, but she was like, yo, just do whatever you're gonna do. Don't base it on the club, right?
yeah, yeah,
The minute I moved out of Atlanta and I was gone for like 6 months, that club called me and
yep.
was like,
See,
yo. Now every time
yeah,
I go back to Atlanta, I'm like, I either headline or definitely get like multiple paid spots. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, because they knew you
So
were nice in the first place. And
right,
then once
right,
you started leaving, they were like, oh, like everybody else is going to find out he's good. And
right.
people are going to wonder why we didn't put him on. And this is going to
Absolutely.
make us look like haters.
I mean, that's exactly what fucking happened. And
That's really
so
why.
yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Yeah. And
Oh,
even
yeah.
yeah, even with going out back and forth to Philly more often now, it's just like it feels better, man, than like trying to kind of like tap dance for certain clubs wherever you at. You know what I mean?
Bro, and not for nothing, bro. It's like traveling is kind of the cornerstone of comedy. It's
Yeah.
like being a kid when I wanted to be like a stand-up comedian and just a comedian in general.
You want to be a
That
road comic? You
Yes,
want to
that
be a
was
road
like one of
comic.
the
Yeah.
coolest things. I was like, you're in it,
Yeah.
you got your bag with you everywhere, you travel everywhere. That was the
Yeah.
one of the main things about it. And then what? You go to a big city, you put all your shit down, and then you just don't leave for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
you don't know
that's how
about
I
that.
came into the game because when I started doing comedy in Atlanta, at the time I was driving tractor trailers. You know what I mean?
Ah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah,
would like be gone for 2, 3 weeks at a time. And, I would be like, I was going back and forth to Texas a lot. So I would go out to Texas and then my company would like kind of work me west.
yeah,
So I would just like, I kind of like, I would know where I'm going, a week or so in advance. So I'd be like, I'm in Atlanta. I know I'm going to be in Houston on Wednesday. I was, start emailing people or whatever the process, however I was getting in touch with people. I'd probably Facebook messaging and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Yo,
yeah.
I'm gonna be in town on Wednesday. Can you give me a spot? And then the game. You start to know comics and all that shit. And
Of
it's okay.
course,
Yeah,
yeah.
I got my open mic on Thursday and blah blah blah. And so then I get to Houston. I'm doing shows in Houston, and my dispatch is like, "Yo, we're gonna send you up to Des Moines, Iowa. Yo, anybody here know anybody in Des Moines? Any clubs I should holler? Yeah. Oh yeah, holler at this person." So then I'm hollering people in Des Moines.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
everybody in Atlanta, they didn't necessarily know what I was doing. They didn't necessarily know my job. You know what I'm saying?
But they're
They're
still
just
like, yo, he's out here.
he's
Des
like, yo, he's
Moines,
doing comedy in
Texas, like
Texas,
what the
and
fuck,
I did shit in
bro?
Oregon and all this type shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I always wanted to be on that travel shit because even in my job I was traveling. I just like that,
Yeah,
like you said, I like that having a bag, staying in a hotel. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Making
It's
friends with
fun,
the
man.
with the guy next door who just got out of jail doing
Yeah.
attempted murder for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? Drinking a beer with him and the local
Yeah,
prostitute every night after the show, you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And
And
just
you
kind of
know what,
like,
too? It makes you appreciate the
mm-hmm.
things that are constant in your life as well,
Yeah.
too. You
Yeah,
know,
definitely.
once everything else comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes, the shit that's
Mm-hmm.
solid, you really start to appreciate a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah,
And the things
absolutely.
that are solid that like you necessarily don't like, you can kind of push away and be like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need this anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, becomes a
Absolutely.
lot easier to, set your life straight.
I mean, and the best thing about doing shows on the road, especially now, is like it's nothing like doing shows on the road and shit, but coming back home to New York. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
Exactly. Yeah.
you come,
Yeah.
it's like you and I mean, as a matter of fact, that shit happened to
Yep.
me and Kyle Gillis. We was I can't remember. It was the show we did a show in like asshole Maryland somewhere, like the middle of nowhere in Maryland. We did a
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
in Baltimore, and then we did this theater in this small town in Maryland. The people were great. And I remember we was leaving and like, the young woman that was doing the working the soundboard,
Mhm.
she was like, "Are you guys really going home to New York?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
She's like,
It's like, yes, bitch.
she's
Yeah.
like, "Really?" Like, "Yeah, bitch, we're going back home with the roaches and the rats." But
Yeah.
they just kind of look at it like the audience kind of looks at it like, "Wow,
I
you
know.
know,
Yeah.
is your
And
next
they,
door neighbor Johnny Carson?" You know what I mean? It's
yeah. No,
like,
because you're right. It's like they see you how you see yourself.
yeah.
And
No,
that's such a nice thing to have.
it's a midget trans man from Peru named Raphael. You
Yeah.
know
Yeah. It's not no fucking.
what
Me and Jimmy Fallon are not
I mean?
friends.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no
It's
doubt though. Absolutely. Yeah, but a road
fucking
comic
true.
is the dream. Yeah, I never of course being a club comic and having doing the same club every night is great too, but like that was always my thing, be a road comic, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean that's how
A
you make the money
cowboy.
too.
You know what I
You
mean?
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you wanna be a cowboy. You wanna travel all around, bro. That's the whole point. I mean, have you ever done
Yeah.
shit on the West Coast, like in LA and stuff like that, or
I never did LA. I've done shit on the West Coast. I did Arizona. I did Tempe, Arizona.
okay.
I did fucking Oregon. I did Belford, Oregon, and
Yeah, yeah.
I did an Indian reservation in Oregon at this small town, and
Nice.
yeah, and it's like it was a learning experience for me because like an Indian reservation is just like a town, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just like anywhere else, whatever type of little stereotypical idea I had in my
Of
head,
course, you never
it
think you're
just
like, is it like gated or something? You're like, what the
yeah, no,
fuck?
it's just a fucking town, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, and I did a little hotel. It was like a hotel open mic, but it was packed. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
And did Texas a bunch of times. I've done pretty much. I mean, I've done. I ain't gonna say I've done all everywhere. I definitely haven't done all 49 states and no crazy shit, but I've done a lot. You know what I'm saying? In that, and then all through the South, Tennessee and
Mhm.
Georgia and Florida and South Carolina, all that. All that regular shit. But yeah, I did some pretty wild places like that. Oregon shit. Arizona was interesting.
I'm trying to
Um,
do Canada, man. That's my thing. I'm
I don't
trying to
think I
do
know
Canada.
anybody still in Canada. Yeah.
I know a couple different comics who are from there and stuff that came
Mm-hmm.
down, so I want to check that out because they're also telling me too. They're like, if you do the road out there, you can
Yeah, I
make
can
money,
imagine.
all that type of shit, and it's a good vibe. Plus Toronto, I mean, like
Yeah,
Canadians are funny
Toronto's dope.
people, you
Yeah,
know.
Toronto's dope. Yeah, yeah, Toronto's dope. Um, my favorite place to do. Probably one of my favorite places was always like Boston and Rhode Island. I always like going up there,
Boston's
man.
great. Boston's a great
Yeah, I
town.
always like going up there. I always like going up there.
Yeah, man, that's always a good fucking time.
Yeah.
Rhode Island, I never done Rhode Island, but
Hmm.
Boston was good. Maine is good. A lot of different places, bro. But that's the thing too. You get to learn so much too, because like each
Yeah.
place, it's all kind of the same. It's all America, but each place is slightly different.
Yeah,
The types of
absolutely.
like culture that they have, the types of things that they're willing to joke about, change
Yeah.
a lot and everything,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
that's the best thing I think about traveling is you get to know how funny you actually are. And you get to
Absolutely.
mold your jokes enough that everybody can like them. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. You learn. Yeah. You learn a lot, man. It's definitely, and that's why it's kind of like you kind of tell like it's one thing if you like I say this shit respectfully, but it's one thing if like you in Bushwick somewhere, or you in fucking like Philly somewhere, like you know what I'm saying. But like if you're in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, and you're in a group of people who aren't necessarily the type of people you be around, you know what I'm saying?
You can
No matter
still
what
make
that
them
is,
laugh.
and you can still make them laugh and shit. Like like in Mississippi around type of brothers and sisters that don't necessarily live the same lifestyle as you and shit
Of
like
course, I
that.
know exactly
You know what
what
I'm
you mean.
saying?
I know
And,
exactly
and
what
you
you
can
mean.
still connect with them and make them laugh. That says a
Yep.
lot, man. That
Yeah,
says a
it
lot.
takes
You know what I mean?
time. It takes
Yeah.
time. I think it's a skill. I think a lot of people should learn it and open themselves up to shit like that and
Mm-hmm.
everything. But Marty, I'm gonna let you go because we got to wrap up the episode and everything.
Absolutely.
It's been great talking to you. Do you have any words of wisdom to the congregation? You know,
No words of wisdom. Just no. I was gonna say follow me on Instagram, but nah, man. Just like be creative, man. Be creative
yeah,
and be original. That's it, man. Be creative and be original for real. Don't bite no jokes and shit.
yeah, that's fair. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess my tip would be, guys, bro, just it sounds corny, but follow your heart, take chances, bro. Like,
Yeah.
don't always do what everybody who in your scene thinks is cool.
Mm-hmm.
If you fuck
Mm-hmm.
with something, go for that. The
Mm-hmm.
worst that can happen is you fail. Who gives a
Yeah.
fuck? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So take the chance, take the leap. Trust me, most of the time you won't fall. I swear to God.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
guys. This has been the False Prophets Podcast. I'm Phil Risden. That's Mahdiy
I'm
Drummond. We'll see you later.
see you later, false prophets. Have a good day.
Peace.
Peace.